Welcome to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and my special guest today for Millersport, Vince Bobo, a school board member and also the village administrator, and Tom Nebbergall. How are you, Tom?
Pretty good. How are you doing today?
Tom is the economic development director for Millersport. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it.
Excited to be here and promote our little community.
There's a lot going on in Millersport.
Yes, there is. We have two projects going on right now, and I'll let Tom talk about his, but we're getting ready to break ground on paving canal in Chautauqua and putting in catch basins and drainage and sidewalk up to the Veterans Park that we have. And then Tom could fill you in on everything going on with the fire station right now.
Yeah, we spent probably 5 years, maybe at least, in the making. When I was on the fire department in '06, we were trying to do it. We actually are building a new fire station in Millersport, and the last one that was built there was 70 years ago, I believe.
70 years?
70 years ago.
Was Dave Levacy involved in
yes,
that?
Yes, Dave was the chief for 1 year, yes.
Okay.
And he wasn't there when they built it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he was, I don't know. We don't know for sure, because we're way younger than Dave.
But the problem was the existing firehouse was falling down. It's old. Trucks couldn't fit anymore because the newer trucks are bigger. And this has just been, everybody's been saving money, and the village, and with Mayor Matheny coming in and Vince coming in, first goal was we're going to build a new fire station because we have to. And the project has started, we started in October, September, October, and hopefully July 1st will be our grand opening.
That's fantastic. Now, was this a result of the lake being redone and ODNR, or was this?
It needed to be done. You know, when you looked at the other facility, it was time. It was time to move on, like you said, because they even cut into the roof of it and raised the doors over there because of the vehicles. But one thing that's happened in our town, in our township, is we've evolved into a senior citizen community. And having a strong EMS delivery is very vital to our people.
How big is Millersport now?
What was the last census? Was 1,000?
Yeah, 1,004 I think is what it was on there, but it's moving. And here's just a little interesting side part to it. When people come in and sign up for water bills, we do an informal interview with them. You know, what brought you here? And what's interesting is 19 of the last 23 houses that were sold in the Village of Millersport went to people that are 50 and older with no children. So as a school board member, that concerns me on how do you change that. But people are moving out because it's the best kept secret in Central Ohio.
Yeah, and the other thing is now we actually had some developers come in. So our goal is, if we keep the village small inside and we grow on the outside, we'll help the school, we'll help the village, but we'll still keep that small community feel that people, you know, as yourself and other people moved out there, that's what they want. And our goal is to make that happen so we can help everybody. And luckily the township, the school board, and the village, we're all working together on several projects, which, you know, big city you don't get that.
Sure.
But here we're all, you know, like Vince's village and school board. Right. Myself, I'm town and school. So we all have to do something to work together to grow, to make it better.
And we have Bill Yates, who is our maintenance and bus supervisor.
Bill Yates, that used to be in Pickerington?
I don't
know. No, Bill's been at Millersport forever.
Oh, I think that's a different guy.
I think they built the school around him.
Yeah, literally. I mean, the new part. He's a township trustee also, and probably the most successful cooperative program that we've done is the Township, Walnut Schools, and the Village of Millersport combined in purchasing bulk fuel. So the fuel is kept at the township. We all have little fobs to get in there, so the fire department any time of the day, 24 hours, can go over. It's a gated area. They put the fob in and get their fuel. Same way with the police and the buses. So that has worked out really well, and we're hoping to do more of those collaborative programs because it's good for our community.
Oh, absolutely. Now, when you talked earlier when we went on about different projects that you were working on, just expand on those just a little bit.
Well, when Gary became mayor, we also instituted a 1% income tax, so that allowed us money to do some things. And I've got a sheet with me that has 40 items that we have that we have done or in the process of doing. But the major one, when he was in office maybe a week, and the iron filter had gone out in the water plant.
Oh, yeah.
And we had no backup, and so we had brown water, and we had, people
Channel
were
6 News.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Channel 6
it did. It made channel. I mean, it was just a kind of a fiasco. And in the meantime, I'm on a cruise, so I don't get to share in all that fun part of it. And
so Tom did, right?
well, Tom was involved, and Gary was involved, and it was just it started out as a nightmare, but in my feeling, it was kind of a blessing because we tackled it. We overcame those issues. It cost us around $440,000, and we paid that without getting a loan. And so
wow,
we got that repaired, but we still need another
Another
iron
feature.
filter, a second one in there. But our whole program is based on pay as much as you can with cash, eliminate as many of the loans that we have, and the school's the same way. Sometimes we do things where the loan outlives the asset, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
And so why would you do that? You need to. I don't think you would do that with your house and your personal stuff. So why would you do it with the school district and the village and the township? I mean, I think we're all on the same page when it comes to providing the best services for our community at the least amount of money that we can do it at.
What made you get into politics as a township trustee?
Well,
Did you miss a meeting or what?
no, well, I did miss one meeting at LCATS, and they come back and I'm on the board. It's like, whoa, what happened there? Well, you weren't here in July.
And some of us signed a contract, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, for me, it's really interesting, and I always tell the story. My wife and I have been married 38 years, and we have one child, and he was a late life surprise. I was 43 when he was born. So, everybody at school we're 20 years older than the parents that were there. But I had promised my son when I retired from teaching, because I spent 30 years as an educator, that I would take him to school every day.
At Millersport? Or?
No, I was
Okay.
in southwestern city.
Okay,
Finished my career. And so the mayor at the time, Dean Severance, knew I was retired. We had been friends, and he said, hey, we have a fiscal officer that's 80 years old, and we're afraid that if she passes away, nobody will know where things are. And I said, well, if I don't have to start before 9 and I don't have to stay after 3, I'll help you as much as I can. So it started out, I was her assistant, and then when she retired, I told Dean and council, I'll quit. You won't have to pay any unemployment or any of that. You guys were really good to me. And they went, there's so much to do here. You want to stay. So I stayed, and then we had a board of public affairs, and issues happened, and that got disbanded. And Gary said, how about being the village administrator? So it's been a learning curve for me, but I think we do a lot of good things. We help the community. For example, we have our street guy that does the plowing. If we have senior citizens that they need their driveway plowed out, we plow it out. It's not our responsibility, but
sure.
You know what? You've lived here your whole life. You've contributed to the community. We feel we owe it to you. There's two types of people that are in our community. There's guys like Tom who were born and raised and live here. And then there's people like Gary and I who have chosen to move into the community. And I think that makes a nice mesh, because he brings a history with him that helps explain, because when we'll go, I wonder why they did that, then Tom could say, well,
this is why we did it. Yeah.
Here's who hated who at the time. And yeah.
So it's worked out really well.
Well, there are the good things we got going too. We have music in the park now.
Yeah.
Which is our new Miller Park, which was paid for with grant funds. So we have local artists come in and they sing and do shows and stuff there, which is a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. And then we also have movies in the park. It was our Veterans Park. We have a local couple out of their own pocket and their own time. They bought it. They have a big screen they put up on the side of the barn. They get these movies, and we have food trucks come in, and the kids play in the playground. Then when it gets dark, they watch a movie, and it's really cool.
What kind of food trucks?
Oh, they have good tacos. That's my favorite that comes in there. They have really good food trucks, and then the fire department comes out every time, and so the kids get to see the fire department. And we just completed a new playground. There are new whole systems out there thanks to Mr. Dave Levesey.
Yeah.
He was able to get it for us. So we're ready to go. We just got to get more people to come in to use the facilities we have.
Sure. Now, website. Is there a website people can go to check all these things out? Or
there should be.
It's a work in progress. How's that? Yeah. I mean,
we're not computer people.
Yeah. I refer to Shane, our camera operator, takes care of that stuff. But people ask all the time. Well, do you go up to the lake? Do you go up and do this? And I do as often as I can, but it's kind of a hidden jewel. I mean, it's.
I always refer to our area as the best kept secret in Central Ohio because of that. My wife and I have lived in the same house now 31 years, and I say it's like living a vacation. You know, when we were younger, it was come out of the house in the summer. We both taught school, so it was come out of the house. It'd be 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, and let's go skiing.
Let's go skiing. Mm-hmm.
So we'd go skiing, come back for lunch, and let's go jet skiing now. So it was like living a vacation, is the way I describe it.
That's amazing. There's a lot of because you're involved in parks and recreation. You're kind of a catch-all. So talk a little bit about the parks. What's happened? What's the development of? Because you've got. I know you're coaching softball there too, but talk a little bit about just the activities that people in the community can do.
Well, I am the varsity softball coach at Millersport, but the best thing we offer we have a summer program for baseball, softball, t-ball. We have a soccer program that is growing, and we're talking the lower levels because now Millersport finally has a soccer program at the high school level. So our next thing is we got to fill the junior high level. We'll get that brought in too.
Sure.
So that's a growing sport. We have Veterans Park, which is a new playground and stuff that people can come out there, and it's always busy. We kind of laughed, well, when we put this in, who's going to use it? Every day there's people out there, and if it could be cold, they're still out there. So that was the best thing we could have done. The other thing at Miller Park, which is our new park in town that we built, is there's no, it's not a recreation area, it's an area to come, and we have picnic tables, we have a gazebo, we have a nice little walk path with history that you can read, what's going on and stuff. A lot of people come to read books. A lot of people come and relax. It's a very nice atmosphere, which we have. There's green space, there's concrete, and it's just like I said. A lot of people come there. You see them at all times. A lot of Christmas photos for businesses. They come there and get their pictures because we decorate during the winter and we have nice lights. And you'll see these businesses come in. That's their photo for their business. You see them at the gazebo. Wow. As far as in town, we're building a brand new, thanks to donations, and there's no public funds been used. We're building a brand new varsity softball field for Millersport, which their girls have never had one. The field we play on now is an old baseball field. They've never had a brand new one. So this was when they hired me, when I came back the second time, they hired me. One request was...
The second time?
Well, they hired me, and then I got smart and went to Florida and coached down there because it was a lot warmer. But when I came back, at the time, Mr. Stout and Mr. Cotner said, we want you back, but here's what we want. We want this field. Yeah. Can you make it happen? Well, this is 4 years, and we're ready to go now. So
that's exciting. It really is. He's done a good job with that.
And both of you have mentioned a couple times that you're not getting grants, you're not getting it's all donations. It's all. Talk a little bit about the interweave between the community and the school system and just what's going on there. I mean,
well, on the softball field, my number one thing was I told everybody that wanted to help, we didn't hit up local businesses. They are everybody hits them up for money, and you know, and that was my one requirement. We don't hit them up. Well, I actually had a couple business owners get upset with me because I didn't come asking for money, and they donated. So what I did, I went to the bigger businesses. Millersport Marina was a big help on this. So we just branched out, and that's what we did, and we got them the bigger money coming in that would help the smaller community. And so we're going to put nice banners up for them and everything like that. As far as the village, we have people donating stuff all the time, which they don't want you to know that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, you know, don't tell people I did this, but can we have this?
Just like our, you know, we moved our veteran memorial from the park that was there to our cemetery. 3 years ago, we took the cemetery over, and
is that falling to you too, Tom?
Well, yeah.
I sell cemetery plots.
Okay.
And I just take care of
one.
the
I'll sell you one. But yeah, I mean, he's got that, you know, part of it too. But we had an individual that paid for all the flagpoles, and those are expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
And didn't want it out in the community. So, but a quick thing on Miller's Park, which is kind of interesting. About 8 or 9 years ago, I was going through some of the minutes, and I found that Matthias Miller has set a section of land aside for a park. And along the way, historically, the center of the village moved from where he had this land to Lancaster Street. So this building that the park sits on, we were the first test case for the land bank in Fairfield County.
Oh, yeah.
So they were able to take it down, and it had to go to, you know, up for auction if anybody wanted, but there was $60,000 in back taxes, and nobody was going to pay $60,000 for this block building that used to be
gas station
at one time. So, you know, Mike Capers helped us a lot with that, and so that ended up getting torn down, and that's how Matthias Miller Park evolved into that, which is kind of cool.
Well, that's neat.
And then the land that Matthias Miller set aside, which is to me, this is really cool. We decided that we were going to build a house because, as far as we know, no other municipality in the state of Ohio has built a house and sold it. They've torn houses down, but they never built it. So we built it. We made about $5,000 on it because of where it was located. But in the process, the other houses in that neighborhood started doing cosmetic things. So we're kind of proud of that. That's kind of a unique thing that.
That's neat.
You know, well, we used a lot of local people, and that helped, and we might try another one.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a second.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest from the Millersport area, Vince Popo and Tom Nebbergall. Again, thanks for being here, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We talked earlier about people who become involved in the community. I know there's people that don't want their name out there, but is anybody in particular that you want to thank and help out? All these things that you guys are doing up there.
Well, some of the corporate sponsors, the bigger ones, like Lindsay Honda, they are making a donation, and I offered them naming rights. It was a joke. I'll name the field. And they said, well, okay, so we're going to do that. For 10 years,
nice.
it's going to be Lindsay Honda Field, home of the Lady Lakers softball, which I think is really nice. On the baseball field side, Millersport Marina is buying a new scoreboard, and they're donating some money on the same thing to help them out. Our local athletic boosters, they've donated, I don't know how many thousands of dollars that they've earned back into the program, because the president of the boosters, her number one thing is this money's for the kids, and they're buying warm-ups, they're buying this, they're buying that, because they want Millersport overall right now, and people in the community know this, in the sporting world stuff, we're not doing well in the sports world, but we can do better. And the first thing you have to do is build up morale and the winning program, and it's happening now. You can see it happening. So, and then on the park and stuff, we were talking about the movies, was John and Brandy Hitchcock. Now, they're the ones that donated everything. And they even donate candy and stuff like that. And Weldon's Ice Cream comes in. And
now there's a place I've been to.
Yes, there's a place. Well, they bring their own. They bring a trailer in, and you got ice cream, you got food. I mean, what else you want? Yeah. You know, usually nice weather. I think only one time it was bad out there.
And David Pierce, who runs Weldon's Ice Cream, has made donations to us after every music, or after every movie in the park thing. So we're getting there.
Sure.
We're making those connections, which I think is really important. One other addition that we got that we're surprised with was the library kiosk. You get a library card, and it's all digital, and you go in there and you swipe your card, and the book comes out, and if you want something, you call down there, and they deliver it. They're there every day. The library people, they maintain it, they take care of it. There was no money by the Village of Millersport in it. It was all the idea of the Fairfield County Library. And to be honest, at first we jokingly called it the new bus stop in Millersport. We're going to get a Greyhound coming through, but we were all surprised how active the library is there.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Millersport. I mean, I don't know how you do it, because I know your schedule. There just seems to be a lot.
Yeah, I think it's the lake. Thornport, Thorn Township, Buckeye Lake, and everything's starting to grow. But we were the established, village on our end of the lake.
Sure. And
of course, Perryton, they come our way. Columbus comes our way. We're the first stop, and I think people come there and they like what they see. We are a small town community with some big town stuff, and you can go back. The Wolf family lives.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Tom, Dave Thomas had an island out there. He would always he'd come every Saturday. He'd come in town and go to the hot dog shack because he had to have his favorite hot dog.
Oh yeah.
And Les Wexner, he was out there. So this is the kind of community it's always been. But like Vince said, we kept it a secret because you didn't want to grow. But now it's getting to the point we're gonna have to grow, and that'll be fine with us.
Now, talk about growth. You talk about all these entities that are working together. Is that a good thing that everybody's, or is it like, well, we don't want to get too big? Yeah, we want to get.
I think that attitude is changing. I'm from Canton originally, and when I go home, I tell my friends, I said, this is what within 2 miles of my house that I have. I come into town, I have a hardware store. I have a medical clinic where I have my doctors there. I can get blood tests. I can get x-rays. My cardiologist comes in once a month to that clinic. I have a bank. I have a gas station. I have pharmacy, post office, 2 restaurants that sit right there, the Old
Right.
Canal and Hometown Hot Dog.
Hometown hot dogs.
And I have a butcher shop, Bauer and Sons Meats there. Now, if I could only find some place that had fresh produce, I wouldn't have to leave Millersport.
Well, and the other thing, the Marlin,
Yeah.
the Midwest Marlins, a baseball, softball
Oh, yes.
group, they moved into Millersport, and that place is busy 7 days a week, and they are bringing. We actually have people moving in now because of that.
Well, that's got because they're involved in softball too, aren't they? Or is it just
Yeah,
baseball?
softball too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because I'm also with them.
Yeah.
You know, I got involved with that. And
Right.
we all work together. They're with the village and us and the school and everything. So it's the best thing about a small town is you have to work together to succeed.
Sure.
And I think we're working together now.
Yeah, that's when as things grow and develop and get more people come in. Is there like hotel growth? I mean, has anybody talked about?
It's on the books.
Yeah,
No. Okay.
It's been talked about. My hope is this, that I become ill-prepared for my job, that they'll need a planner, and that's my dream, is to get, do so well that I don't have a job anymore in there.
Well, that's a good plan, though. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice. I mean, that's
We want controlled growth.
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I learned that from actually Mayor Rita Ricketts back when I was on council at Millersport. When I went, she was the mayor at Pickerton, and she said, controlled growth is how you want to do it. She goes, learn from our mistakes, and very thoughtful, and she's right, and that's what we're trying to do.
One other thing I want people to know that's unique about our village, there's only 3 full-time people that work for the Village of Millersport. Everybody from the mayor on down to the police chief, fire chief, we're all part-time people.
I didn't know that.
Well, we
That's
provide
interesting.
provide the same services Lancaster does,
Right.
but we're only three-time people. It's amazing, really.
There's this has flown by. I mean, 30 minutes has flown by. We just have a couple minutes left. Anything that you want to get out there to let people know about any other special events coming up, summer events coming up? We'll get you back on,
We're
too.
getting ready for Music in the Park, and that'll
Yeah.
be coming out next couple
Right.
months. We're getting ready to start sign-ups for our summer programs and stuff like that. Actually, we were at the school. The new playground is going to be installed and starting probably next week or week after in the school. So I said the things that we've dreamed about for maybe the last 10 years are all starting to happen, and that's a good thing.
I hate to say this, but do you want to give out your phone number so people can call? Or
I don't care.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people have our phone number.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
we
mean,
do
is
give
it-
it out there.
Mine's 614-357-1806. Call me anytime. I say I do community growth and everything else.
Yeah,
And if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you.
super.
And I'm 614-562-7320, and I echo what Tom said. We're very accessible to people.
Well, Vince, Tom, we appreciate you guys coming on. We'll have you back on, and we'll try to make this maybe a quarterly event or something
that'd be fun.
to give us. I told quite a few people that I was having representatives from Millersport. They said, that's great. I mean, we would like to know more what's going on, but I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, anytime. It's been fun.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. Remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.